Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Īśopaniṣad class. So, first we will start with our Mangalacharan prayers. Let me share the screen. I hope you can see the screen on the Zoom.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Śrī Rūpam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Now we will start our Īśopaniṣad discussion. So let's recite the invocation mantra for Śrī Īśopaniṣad. So I will share the screen again. Okay, please repeat after me. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Nat Purnamudachyate Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete.
Personality of Godhead is perfect and complete.
And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him,
Even though so many complete units emanate from him,
he remains the complete balance.
he remains the complete balance.
Next verse. Ishavasyam idam sarvam
Ishavasyam idam sarvam
yatkincha jagatyam jagat
jagatyam jagat
inatyaktena bhunjitha
taktena bhunjita
hridha kasya svidhanam.
tasya siddhanam.
Everything animate or inanimate
Everything animate or inanimate
that is within this universe
that is within this universe
is controlled and owned by the Lord.
is controlled and owned by the Lord.
One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself,
One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself,
which are set aside as his quota,
which are set aside as his quota.
and one should not accept other things,
And one should not accept other things,
knowing well to whom they belong.
knowing well to whom they belong.
Okay, very good. So today we will continue our discussion of Mantra 10. So Mantra 10 has two aspects to it. One aspect is the result obtained from the understanding of vidya and avidya. So last week we did not have a class because of Maharaj's visit. So 2 weeks back we had a nice discussion on vidya and avidya, verse 9 and half of 10. And we discussed 3 types of vidyas. Anybody remembers what is the first type of? We discussed 3 topics. What's the first one? 3 categories. So here in the room, I'm hearing vidya and avidya. So that's just 2. But Srila Prabhupada has brought out 3 categories. So-called vidya and real vidya. Isn't it? So there is avidya, so-called vidya, which is materialistic knowledge. Avidya means complete no knowledge, materialistic knowledge or knowledge that enhances our sense gratification, or that can be used to propel our sense gratification. And the third one is real vidya, which propels our spiritual progress, not our sensual progress. Okay. So we discussed those 3 things. And in this 10th verse, which hopefully I'm showing on the screen, is talking about the result. Anyad evahur vidyaya, anyad ahur avidyaya. So what it means is that one result is obtained by pursuing vidya, and another result is obtained anyad ahur avidyaya. So basically, by pursuing vidya and avidya, and again there are 3 definitions or 3 items here, so you can apply it here. Vidya means the spiritual knowledge. Now the context has changed slightly, and that's why the Vedas are kind of encoded. So one result is obtained by pursuing the real vidya, which is spiritual destination, and by pursuing avidya or so-called vidya, you obtain another destination. That is the first 2 lines. So that's where we stopped last time. Today we will continue with the next 2 lines. Iti shushruma dhiranam ye nastad vichachakshire. So the wise, iti shushruma, this, iti means this, what has been said so far, which means verse 9, that there is vidya and avidya, and the 2 destinations, either you go up spiritually or you go down spiritually, or you go down materially even. Iti means this whole knowledge. Shushruma, shushruma is a very important word. So many times it occurs in Bhagavad Gita also. to hear. Shruti. Shruti means that which is heard. So, iti shushruma, this has been heard. From whom? So that is the red colored word, dhiranam. The wise people, dhira. The wise people. Ye nastad vichachakshire. Vichachakshire means as they have explained to us. So the job of dhiras or the wise people is to explain things to us which we should make an effort to understand from them. So even though Īśopaniṣad is an Upanishad, this is a very, very strong reference within the Upanishad to understand the Upanishad under the guidance of a dhira. And in our, another word for dhira is acharya or a guru, bona fide guru, etc. So that is how we must understand these spiritual topics, especially things that are so complicated as the Upanishads. So I wanted to have a discussion on the topic of dhira today. And if we, it's a very, very important topic. And if we make sufficient progress, then we will continue with the next verse, 11th verse, which is also having some very important concepts. Okay, so anyad evahur vidyaya, anyad ahur avidyaya, iti shushrumadhiranam yena stad vichachakshire. Anybody would like to read the translation? Vinil Prabhu here in the room will read.
The wise have explained that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge, and that a different result is obtained from the culture of
nations. So we will focus on the first line of the purport today. The next line we have already discussed, that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge and a different result is obtained from the culture of nations. But the wise have explained. So we will focus on wise. And the Sanskrit word being used here is dhira. Hare Krishna Mataji. With your permission, I will continue. So, where else have we encountered the word dhira? Anybody? You can raise your hands. You can raise your hands in Zoom if you would like. Anybody else? So yes, I have a very small font here. So I think that is Shyam Leela Mataji, then Radhakanta Prabhu, then Chandrasekhar Prabhu here.
Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, I think verse 12 or 13 was dhira.
Do you remember that? Okay, very nice. So what is the full verse? Anybody knows?
I can't remember the full verse, Prabhuji, sorry, but it was somewhere.
Radhakanta Prabhu, can you? You should know, you've given the test and all.
Sure, Prabhuji. Dehinosmin yatadehe kaumaram yamanam jara. That is 2.13.
Next line. Dhira.
Dehinosmin yatadehe kaumaram yamanam jara. Tata dehanta praptir dhira statra muhyati.
Very nice. Dhira statra na muhyati. It's a very famous verse. Many people remember it. What were you going to say? Same. Okay. And even I was going to say the same thing here in the next slide. So, Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam. This is one of the very first verses that Lord Krishna begins to speak. It's the third verse. 11th verse, he starts speaking Bhagavad Gita, actually the science of the soul. After Arjuna surrenders to Lord Krishna, Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. So when he says, I surrender to you, please instruct me, then Lord Krishna starts speaking the science of the soul. This is one of the very first verses, that Dehino asmin yatha dehe, the dehi, which is the jiva, the soul, is in the deha, it's in the body, and it keeps traveling as the body changes from kaumara, means young age, to yauvana, youth, jara, old age, tatha dehantara praptir. So just as in this life it goes from kaumara to yauvana to jara, from very young age to youth to old age. Same way, tatha dehantara prapti. After dehanta, after death, it goes into another body. But the point here is dhira knows this. Dhira, so that part is talking about reincarnation and that the soul travels across bodies. But a dhira knows this. Dhiras, he knows this. Tatra na muhyati. And knowing this, he is not bewildered. He is not, lamenting for the departed soul. So the translation by Srila Prabhupada is, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at the time of death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So the meaning of dhira here is a sober person. But a person who knows the science of the soul, the spiritual science, that's the title of the slide I have put, knowing the spiritual science. So dhira is just not a person who is just very calm and cool. We can find many such dhiras outside also who are very calm, cool. It's very, they don't get agitated easily and all, but that's, or wise. Wise can have such varied meanings. So from our scriptural understanding, dhira is meaning one who knows the spiritual science. Okay. So that is dhira in this context. In all of the Vaishnava literature, that is the meaning we assign to dhira. We don't assign any other lower meaning or some kind of diluted meaning. This is the high standard of these scriptures. Dhira means one who knows the spiritual science. Right there it is in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, one more place. This is little hard where dhira comes. Now it comes again in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, but that's not what I'm asking. One more place where those who have been studying Srila Prabhupada books regularly, it occurs.
7th chapter.
7th chapter, dhira. I can't recall, but that's not what I have in mind. I don't think you can tell me which verse the dhira occurs. I'm just mentally scanning. I can't pinpoint. But anyway, anybody else? It's not from Bhagavad Gita, at least the one that I have in mind. So many of you, I will tell, many of you might have heard this verse or read this verse, the first verse of Nectar of Instruction. Nectar of Instruction is a very, very profound, just 11 verses, but still very profound literature written by Srila Rupa Gosvami. And we will do this study as part of Bhakti Shastri. So by the way, Bhakti Shastri students are also online. This is a combined Bhakti Shastri and a public class. So Bhakti Shastri students, please put your name properly in the Zoom, okay? That's how attendance will be taken. Just a reminder. And if you have 2 people joining on the same Zoom, maybe put both names. Okay? So that I can mark the attendance appropriately. You can use the rename feature in the Zoom. Okay, having said that, this is another place where dhira comes. And so the previous slide was saying a dhira is one who knows the spiritual science, correct? Dhiras tatra na muhyati dehino asmin yatha dehe. So that was about knowing the spiritual science. And this one is about practicing the spiritual science. This verse is heavily based on practice. It is all about practice. Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam jivha vegam udaropastha vegam etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha sarvam api mam prithvim sa shishyat. So 6 items are given that if a person, a dhira, can control these 6 urges, then sarvam api mam prithvim sa shishyat. He can make shishya. What is the meaning of shishya? Disciples. He can make disciples all over the world. So 6 items are mentioned here. Vacho vegam. Vega means the urge to misuse a particular item. So that is vega. So vacho vegam. So somebody could read the translation on the Zoom this time, maybe.
May I?
Yes, go ahead, Prabhuji.
A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world.
These are the 6 items. Vacha, manasa, krodha, jivha, udara, and upastha. So all these 6 urges, one who can control. So this is all about practice, isn't it? It's very hard to control even one of them. What to speak of all 6. So a dhira person, one who can control these 6 urges. Such a person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. What is the meaning of qualified to make disciples? What does that make the dhira? A guru, isn't it? Guru has disciples. Shishya, the opposite of shishya is guru. We call guru shishya relationship. Spiritual master and disciple relationship. So that same dhira is with what is being mentioned. So I'm trying to connect it to show that dhira, I'm trying to bring out the meaning in 3 steps. A dhira is who knows the spiritual science. A dhira is also a person who practices, he walks his talk, puts his talk into action. So he practices the spiritual science, and such a person is eligible to be a guru. And here the same dhira is used, iti shushruma dhiranam. So this has been heard from the dhira, okay, which means we can by logical inference, we can conclude that we must hear from such a person, and such a person is a guru. Understand? So both these items, sa shishyat and iti shushruma dhiranam, indicate that we must take shelter of a dhira, and a dhira person is one who has these qualities, and we must make him our guru. Or we must request him to become our guru. We can't order him, make him like we can't order, but we must request to become his disciple. So today's discussion, large part of it will be based on this concept of guru. Very important concept. Who is a guru and so on. So we will see. So guru, if we break up the word guru, it breaks up into gu and ru. Gu means darkness and ru means one or that which, one who dispels or that which dispels. So guru is who? One who dispels the darkness. Darkness of what?
Ignorance.
Go out in the sun and there is no darkness. So what kind of darkness? Ignorance. Very nice. So we have, every time we start the class, we start with this verse. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya. So what is the andha? Andha means blindness or darkness is of what? Of ajnana. Ajnana means of ignorance. The ignorance is causing the darkness. Okay. So who dispels this ignorance, this darkness of ignorance? By how? Jnana Anjana Shalakaya. By Anjan means, what is Anjan? The girls,
Kajal.
this
Kajal.
mascara or kajal we call in. So Jnana Anjan, the sort of the paste of Jnana. So Guru puts the Jnana Anjana in our eyes. Jnana Anjana Shalakaya. Which opens our eyes. Chakshur Unmilitam Yena. He opens our eyes with this Jnana Anjana. Tasmai Śrī Gurave Namaha. To that Guru who has opened my eyes to knowledge, opened it from darkness by giving the Anjan of knowledge. To that Guru, Śrī Gurave Namaha. I offer my respect, I offer my homage, my gratitude, my obeisances to such a guru. So could someone from the room here read the translation loud and clear? You wanna? Sure.
I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Very nice. So basically, a guru is one who dispels the darkness by providing spiritual knowledge. Clear? Very basic stuff so far. So it will get a little more advanced. So one could ask, why do I need a guru? Now I'm going a little bit deeper, or kind of now taking sort of the next leap, next jump. So I had, now many of you may not know, but I had done a whole series from Srimad Bhagavatam about, I don't know, 6-8 months or maybe more ago, on the story of Ajamila. And there, the whole, it's one of my most favorite episodes within the Srimad Bhagavatam, because it so strongly emphasizes the power of the holy name. And as part of that, we discussed the 10 offenses to the holy name. And within the 10 offenses, there is the third offense, which is disobeying the orders of the spiritual master. So of a guru. So we discussed who is a guru. What does it mean? What are considered to be his orders? When we say it is an offense to disobey the orders of a guru, we must know who is a guru, what are his orders, and then only we can understand whether to obey, disobey. And if you have happened to disobey it, how do you rectify? That whole discussion we had. So that has a reference video, SB Srimad Bhagavatam 048. So on the YouTube channel, I have organized it as kind of numbers. You can have a look at it. Anyway, so there is this very famous verse. So today's class, the way it is organized is, there are questions in the title of the slide, and answers are through the lens of the scriptures. So there is a very famous verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 19, verse number 151. Brahmande bhramite kona bhagyavaan jiva, Guru Krishna prasade paye bhakti lata beej. Many of you might have heard this verse many times. So what it is saying is that Brahmande, so there are 2 points, or at least for today's class, we will emphasize on this verse. We are 2 points, but here I'm taking one of those points only, that the role of Guru is to give us Guru Krishna prasade paye bhakti lata beej. Those of you who understand some in Indian language, whether it's Hindi or Bengali or any others, can probably understand a little bit here. But what does it, and those who have been in Krishna consciousness long enough, even who are not Indian bodied, can also understand. Prasada, Guru Krishna prasada. So the prasada, what is the prasada in this context? Bhakti lata beej, that is the prasada. That is the mercy or the gift that is we are being given. A seed, beej means seed, of the bhakti lata, of the tree or the creeper. Lata means a creeper of bhakti. The seed of that bhakti is being given. It's coming from Krishna, that's fine, but ultimately in our hands it is being given by the Guru. So Guru basically is the medium, is the transmission medium. Like, you know, you have a hydroelectric dam, power plant, a dam or whatever, you know, but your electricity comes from the local power station. It's not generated there, but without the power station, you cannot directly connect to the dam, isn't it? So we connect to the local power station, which is transmitting, regulating and transmitting as much as we need. And it keeps control also, how much you have consumed, this, that, everything. It is doing a very localized monitoring, and it's giving us a localized service. And you also pay your bills. You don't pay your bills to the Coolie Dam. There are so many dams, the Bonneville Dam here on the Columbia River, Coolie Dam, all those. You don't pay your bills to them. You pay your bill to the local transmission, local electric company. So your interaction is only with the local company, but you know that actually it is being generated and coming from the hydroelectric or nuclear or wherever power plant. So similarly, Guru is the crucial link, the last link who we interface with to receive this beej, this gift of bhakti. Okay, so that is the role of Guru. So why do I need Guru? You can say we have dam, Bonneville Dam or Cooley Dam or so many other dams. Why do we need transmission station here in Hillsborough? That's not a very intelligent question. You absolutely need it so that that can be transmitted directly to you. It can come in your hands. Okay. So Guru is the medium through which Krishna passes on this bhakti. So the answer is, as given in that blue box, Guru provides us in our hands the seed of bhakti. So on Zoom, somebody could read the translation of this verse, please. You can just read the second para in interest of time.
Can I do, Prabhuji?
Yes, please go ahead.
Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with their bona fide spiritual master. By the grace of Krishna, by the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. So that is the role of Guru in our spiritual progress. All right. The other focus of this verse there are many focuses or foci or points of focus of this verse, by the way. But the other point that we will be discussing today is bhagyavaan. What is the meaning of bhagyavaan? Kona bhagyavaan jiva. Is it dependent on our bhagya? What does bhagya mean? Anybody? Traditional meaning? Fortune or fate, destiny, isn't it? So is it based on that we will get this? Huh? If destiny doesn't favor us or fortune doesn't favor us, we won't even get the beej. That is a little depressing, isn't it?
It's mercy of the Krishna.
Yes, we will come to that. Yes, you are a few steps ahead of us. So we will decode that as well. Okay, so that will be another thing we will come to today. So why do we need Guru? So actually, you know what? I need to do something here. Give me 1 second, huh? Okay. So 1 second, once again, just making some adjustment. Okay. So we need Guru. Okay. But is Guru optional? Or if you have Guru, that's fine. I will get electricity in my house. You can say if I have power station, but I may choose to live in the wilderness. I have my own generator. I will produce, or I have some solar power, you can think. I'm just giving a small analogy. Okay. Yes, in electricity case, all those things would work. But is it optional or is it necessary to make spiritual progress? What do you think?
It is necessary.
So there is a shastric reference. A guru is must have. Must have, we all understand? In project, software projects, we say must have requirements or nice to have requirement. So guru is a must have requirement for a sincere seeker, for a sincere sadhak. It's not optional. Okay. So there is this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 25, verse number 122. So all these chapters in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, starting from the 19th chapter onwards. Before that, in the Madhya Lila, there is detailed descriptions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, his yatra to South India, meeting various devotees, his stay in Jagannath Puri, then his travel to Vrindavan, and so on and so on. And finally, when he is, these chapters from 19 onwards are his instructions to Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, packed with spiritual jewels, diamonds and pearls and so on, from the 19th chapter onwards. The previous verse that we discussed, as you can see, was from the 19th chapter, instructions to Rupa Goswami. This is from 25th chapter, instructions to Sanatan Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not write a lot of scriptures. He just spoke and gave the knowledge to his two main disciples, Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, and they wrote volumes and volumes and volumes. So he entrusted them, but this to write the scriptures. But this is the point where he is giving them the knowledge. Now, of course, the knowledge is transmitted spiritually. It's not everything that he spoke. But yes, he did speak for several days with them, but the knowledge awakened through their contact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It awakened in their heart. Anyway, so that's a slight context on what is these verses or these chapters in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why are they so relevant? So please remember Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter which onwards? 19 onwards. Very important chapters. Okay. So 25th chapter, 122nd verse. So Sarva Desha Kala Dashaya Janera Kartavya Guru Pashe Sei Bhakti Prashtavya Shrotavya. I don't know the exact meter, or I could have made an effort for it, but again, my bad. So Sarvadesha Kala Dashaya Janera Kartavya Guru Pashe Sei Bhakti Prashtavya Shrotavya. So the point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is making is that Sarva Desha Kala Dashaya. So what is the point? Sarva means what?
All.
All. Desha. What does Desha mean?
Country.
Location, whatever country or whatever location. Kala means time. And Dasha means what?
Circumstance.
Circumstance. So basically time, place, and circumstance. Kala, Desha, and Dasha. Sarva means in all time, place, and circumstance. The kartavya of the men, of every man, jana, is what? To go to a guru and ask prashtavya, prashna karna, to prashna. Prashtavya means to ask questions, and to shrotavya, to hear the answers about bhakti. Bhakti prashtavya shrotavya. So he is saying that he has not left, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has not left any situation, every time, place, and circumstance, regardless of all that. One must go to Guru Pashe, go to the Guru, and ask him questions about bhakti and listen to the answers. So it's not optional. There is no optionality in this verse. He's removing any option by saying Sarva Desha Kala Dasha. So could somebody in the room read the translation? Go ahead, loud and clear.
Therefore, the duty of every man in every country, in every circumstances, and at all time, to approach a bona fide spiritual master, question him about devotional service, and listen to him explain the process.
And listen to him, his answers. Okay, so it's not optional. So we must go to the Guru to get answers of all our questions about our spiritual progress in the process of bhakti. There is a very famous verse, now this all of you might know, on approaching a guru in Bhagavad Gita. Anybody knows? Okay. So Radhakanta Prabhu, you already answered, yes. So anybody else? Okay, go ahead, Vinil Prabhu. Next. Very nice. So, who is a guru? Okay, so that is the topic we are getting into. So what are the topics that we have covered so far? That definition of a guru we covered. Guru, one who dispels darkness. All right. And it's not optional. If you are a serious and sincere seeker, sadhak, then you must seek out a guru. Okay. And then we are getting into this point of who is really a guru, how to identify a guru, how to find a guru. Okay. You must find a guru so that you can, then go and do prashtavya and shrotavya. Otherwise, how will you do? There are 7 billion people in this planet. Who will you ask and who will you listen to? Everybody is, eager to become somebody's guru. Who doesn't want to become guru? Everybody wants to become I am the guru. So who will you go to? Who do you want to choose? How to find a guru? So this verse has many, many points. Every verse in scripture has many points that it highlights, it shines light on. For our flow of thought for today's discussion, I am picking out certain points of a verse and skipping others. It doesn't mean that the other points of that verse are not important. It's just that I am trying to stitch a flow for today's discussion and picking out certain points from each verse. So, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. This is actually the most important emphasis of this verse, is how to approach a guru or how to connect with a guru. You must first approach him, pranipatena. You must ask questions, pariprashnena, same thing. What does it mean to just have guru? Okay, just give some donation and then, okay, thank you, bye-bye, see you next time. That is nice, you are serving. Sevaya, that's the sevaya part. You give some donation or you press his feet or, you prepare some prasad for him, whatever may be the case. But pariprashnena is a very important part. Unless you are, fully self-enlightened, you have questions. You ought to have questions. So asking questions to the guru is a very important part, pariprashnena. So that is, and upadekshanti, and they will reply. They will give you upadesha. So this is the, what was that? Prashtavya and shrotavya part. Pariprashnena and upadekshanti. You ask questions, they will give you answers. They will give the upadesh. Upadesh means instructions. But the point for this one is, for today's discussion, is such a person, such a jnani who is a guru, tattva darshinaha. He has seen the tattva. Tattva means the essence. And of course, here it means the spiritual essence. So he has seen the truth. So that is what the translation is, tattva darshinaha. So we have to find out a person. A guru should not be just some Tom, Dick and Harry who doesn't know anything about. He must be a tattva darshini. He must have himself be a very accomplished person. Okay. So, can somebody on Zoom this time read the translation?
Should I try?
Please go ahead.
Yes. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth.
Okay, thank you. So the relevant point for today's discussion is they have seen the truth. So they are a tattva darshini, or those who have seen the truth. So what? Now we go to the next level of decoding. Now Bhagavad Gita is a generic scripture. It applies to many sampradayas. So tattva, and of course Bhagavad Gita later on in the later chapters will go into establishing Bhagavan Krishna as that person to whom we must, or knowledge about Krishna is the most important. So that comes later, but not in this verse. It just says tattva darshinaha. So there's another verse again, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 8. Chapter 8, anybody may remember what it contains? maybe not. So it contains the conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Raya, another very, 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 very elevated devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So anyway, this verse is saying, Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, Shudra Kene Naya, Ei Krishna Tattva Veta, Sei Guru Haya. So what is the qualification of a guru? Qualification of a guru, so 3 non-qualifications are given. Non-qualifications are Vipra. Vipra means one who is poor. Here it is being translated as Brahmana because Brahmans take a vow of being poor. They are not interested in money. They are not supposed to. So Vipra means Brahman, but the literal meaning also is poor. Okay. So whether one is or a Nyasi means sannyasi or a Shudra. So basically these Varnashram classifications are not applicable. Anybody can be a guru. The essential qualification is what? Krishna Tattva Veta. Veta, you know, understand? No? Veti. Veta means to know. Right? So one who understands what Tattva? Krishna Tattva. Sei Guru Hoya. That person is a guru. One who understands the Tattva or essence of the science of Krishna. So who is a guru? Guru is a Krishna Tattva Darshinaha. The previous verse just said Tattva Darshinaha. We are now unpacking it more by saying Krishna Tattva Darshinaha is a guru. Correct? So this time from the room, somebody could read the translation, maybe a Mataji or okay, go ahead. Remove your mask and loud and clear.
Whether one is a Brahmana, a sannyasi, or a Shudra, regardless of what he is, he can become a spiritual master if he knows the sign of Krishna.
Science of Krishna. So that is the essential qualification of a guru, knowing the science of Krishna. Okay. Now we will unpack it more. What does it mean to know the science of Krishna? Okay. Now I know there is a course on Bhagavad Gita that is taught in Harvard University. Some professor teaches that. Can we say that he is Krishna Tattva Veta? Maybe he is, we don't know. But generally imagine like that, just a professor. Okay, not like our Radhika Ramana Prabhu professor type professor. He is, you know, bona fide professor, true professor, but some other general, just imagine like a generic. Okay. So just knowing, the point is knowing the science of Krishna is not important, does not mean that Krishna Tattva Veti. We will unpack that a little more and we will go into the next verse, which is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 3rd chapter, 21st verse. And here we will discover 3 qualifications of a guru. Okay. So of course, it has to be aligned with Krishna Tattva Vetaha or Veti. That is not going away anywhere. We are not changing the definition. We are just going deeper into the definition of who is really a Krishna Tattva Veti. Who is that one whom we can say he knows, truly knows the science of Krishna. So, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasuhu Shreya Uttamam Shabde Parecha Nishnatam Brahmani Upashamashrayam. So it says that Tasmad Gurum. So again, Tasmad. So any verse that starts with Tasmad should
Therefore
light a, you know, ping a big bell in your head. Very important verses. They are the sort of the important ones. Therefore. So it's a conclusive verse. It's capturing some important theorem or law. Like I say, you know, physics books, you know, you have derivation and then you draw a box on the last one, which means that one. So in your exams, they say, you know, you can take one paper of formulas with you. So you write down all the boxed ones, isn't it? Or sometimes they give you as the first sheet itself of the exam, all the formulas. So therefore, all the tasmat verses are like that. So Gurum prapadyeta. Prapadya means, all of you have studied, right? Surrender, right? What is a couple of verses where prapadya comes? 7 point. Two famous verses of 7th chapter come to mind. So many verses are there. Ye yatha mam, 4th chapter, prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. Another one, 7th chapter, 14th verse. What is it? Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya maam eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So prapadyante. And another one, bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevaha sarvamiti sa mahatma su durlabha. So prapadya means to surrender. So you have to surrender. Here is saying tasmad gurum prapadyetah jigyasu shreya uttamam. A jigyasu, a sincere seeker, will surrender to a guru for his benefit. Shreyam uttamam. Shabde cha nishnatam. So shabde pare cha nishnatam. So which means that nishnatam means he's an expert. That guru is an expert in what? Shabde. Shabda means the word of the Vedas or the spiritual scriptures of the Shastra. He is the expert in the Shastra. And Brahmani upashamashrayam. Upasham ashraya. And he has taken shelter himself of the Brahmani, of that spiritual knowledge. And of that absolute person, Brahman, the absolute truth and the spiritual knowledge. He has taken himself, ashrayam. He has taken shelter, which means he is walking his talk. Not only is he an expert, like the Harvard professor may be an expert. If I ask him where all Bhagavad Gita has prapadyante or prapad, he will have answers like this. But has he done prapadyate to Krishna? Maybe not. So knowing is not enough. You must also walk your talk. So that is upasham ashrayam, upasha ashrayam. So somebody could read the translation here. Last time we did from the room. So on Zoom. Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
I think you read it. Anybody
Can
who
I read? Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes. Who is that?
Meera
Yes,
Srinivasan.
Yes, please go ahead.
Therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of the bona fide guru is that he is realized the conclusions of the scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others of these conclusions. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be bona fide spiritual masters. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Very nice. So I have underlined some points here, and the qualification word is given in red color, right? So what are the qualifications we are unpacking? So one thing we discussed is Krishna Tattva Veti. Now we are expanding that into 3 items. One is he knows the conclusion of the Shastra. Of course, the Shastra is describing about Krishna Tattva only. So he knows Krishna Tattva. Second point is he can convince others of the conclusions. That is very important. Not only he knows it, but he can convince others. This is very important. Very, 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 very important. From
like
the
Shastra, right? Sir?
Hold on. From the point of view of the disciple, he may know something, Because later on, if time permits, we'll go into some slides. There is a very wonderful example, for example, of Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj. He knew, materially he was illiterate, but he knew the conclusion of the Shastras, but he would not engage in any kind of debates or anything like that. There's hardly any record of him sort of instructing anyone. He had exactly one disciple. Who was that? Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj. Great scholar himself. So of course, he didn't need any instructions, or any scriptural or shastric instructions were not needed by him. He was already an expert by the time he took shelter of Babaji. But for others, we are not in that situation. We need instructions. We are not. Are you anybody of the level of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj here? So we need spiritual instructions or shastric instructions. So the Guru must be capable of resolving our doubts. What is the point of a Guru? And the whole topic that we discussed in the last two verses were to ask questions. Isn't it? Prashtavya, Shrutavya, Pariprashnena and Upadekshanti. If he cannot convince us, what Upadesh can he give? Or he may just speak something and we will just still remain unconvinced. What's the point? So this ability to be able to convince others or to convey the conclusions in a convincing manner are very important, is a very important part. A very important role of a Guru from the standpoint of disciple. The other two are from the standpoint of Guru, his own purity. He knows the conclusion of Shastra, and the third one is he has himself or herself taken shelter of the Lord. Upasham Ashrayam. He has taken shelter himself. So he is walking his talk. So both are important. Knowing the knowledge and applying it, but from our standpoint, being able to convey it in a convincing manner to us is an equally important part. Understand? So we have unpacked that part as well. So those are the three qualifications, and all three are necessary. You follow? He may be himself a very advanced devotee, but if he cannot help me to advance, if that means if the second point is not there, then it's not helpful for me. Isn't it? He may be very advanced devotee. That's great. Then he can be an individual sadhak, going back to Vaikuntha himself. But to take me along, I have these doubts, I have these questions. So that is very important. Or he can be a Harvard type professor. I'm using that as a sort of a, just a phrase. He can answer all questions, but I see, oh, he is himself not following. Then there is no conviction in my heart about his answers either. So he needs to follow it, obviously. Both are important. All three are important, and he can only convince others if he himself knows. Okay. So now we understand who is a Guru, correct? Importance of Guru, or the mandatory importance of a Guru, not optional, correct? For a sincere seeker. We also know the qualifications or qualities that must be present in a Guru, right? What is the next natural question? Okay, you're all convinced. I need a Guru, must have. And this is how a Guru should look like. Now, what is the next natural question?
Where to find him?
How to find him.
Everybody is saying the same thing. So that is the next topic. How do you find a Guru? Okay? Following? So here comes the answer for that. Again, through the lens of the Shastra. How to find a Guru? So the Shastra, again, Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's just packed with spiritual, like jewels, diamonds and pearls and all those things. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 22, verse 47. Krishna, please try to understand this yourself. And this will be uploaded on YouTube, by the way. So yeah, you can take pictures, but that's totally fine. Krishna yadi kripa kare kona bhagyavane. Again, the word bhagyavan is coming. Yadi is also coming, if. So which means it may, if means has a branch. It's like in the flow chart. It could go this way or that way. If, how many of you learned computer programming?
Yeah, what
If then else. Everybody will tell you that if you write a if statement, else must also be there. Otherwise there's a bug. What happens if the if condition fails? Then the program has nowhere to go, isn't it? So else must also be there. So wherever there is if, what if it does not? If though fine, that's fine. If, what if it does not? Then what? So all these questions come. But here Bhagavan or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Krishna yadi kripa kare kona bhagyavane. So you have to be bhagyavan, you have to be fortunate. Guru antaryami rupe sikhaya apane. So there are two types of guru. One is the external guru, which is guru, is being referred to here as the external. And there is internal guru, which is Paramatma or Antaryami. So in the form of these two gurus as Paramatma from inside and from a spiritual master or a guru as a person outside, Sikhaya Apane, that you are giving us instructions through the medium of Guru and through the medium of Paramatma. All right. If there is kripa of Krishna for a fortunate person. Okay. So let us go to the next slide. Before that, and we will see. So somebody from the room would like to read this translation. Mataji this time. Okay, you can go ahead and next.
Krishna is situated in everyone's heart as the Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within. When he is kind to some fortunate conditioned soul, he personally gives him lessons so he can progress in devotional service, instructing the person as the super soul within and the spiritual master without.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. So what is being said here is that, so actually I have it here in this slide itself, that Krishna yadi kripa kare, if Krishna is merciful, kripa means mercy, kona bhagyavane, on a fortunate person. So those are very big if conditions. But Krishna kripa comes to a bhagyavan person. And what is the meaning of bhagyavan here? Bhagyavan is one who has received, I think I have it some point later in the slide. Bhagyavan is a person who has in some previous life done out of his free will something for Krishna, little bit. Even, you know, you have wagged your tail a little bit for Krishna. Okay. Even if you have seen Krishna, that's why we do Jagannath Rath Yatra. Outside, so many people, thousands of people see. Even if you're just walking by and saying, oh, what is all this? What is that cart? What are these, wooden dolls? That itself is, it opens up your bhagya. If you have even heard the word Krishna, if you happen to speak Krishna, that's why we should keep the name of our children as Krishna, Narayana, Rama, instead of Chintu, Pintu, all those things. So if somebody else, like somebody's child name may be Krishna or something, and they go to school, other people call him by that name. That is opening up their bhagya. So bhagya is opened up in so many different ways. Virtually that bhagya is available to everyone. So bhagya is not such a big if condition. And that process is known as agyata sukriti. Unknowingly, your bhagya has been opened. Okay. And Krishna, out of his mercy, will send the instructions through the Guru. So what you should do, actually, I should have had this on the next slide. One must intensely pray. So before we read this box, let's go to the next slide. So there are two types of guru mentioned in this slide. What are the two gurus mentioned? Paramatma and the person guru outside. Correct? Super soul within and spiritual master without. So the next slide says, now how many of you can get instructions of Paramatma here in the room? Anybody like that? Anybody on Zoom who gets instructions directly from Paramatma? Please raise your hand. Anybody? Yeah, it's not possible. Very hard to get instructions from Paramatma. So that is why in this verse, this is the first chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is defining the importance of Guru. The whole chapter is about Guru. So 58th verse from that chapter is saying that Jive Sakshat Nahi Tate Guru Chaitya Rupe. That means Sakshat Nahi Tate Guru Chaitya Rupe. So the Chaitya Rupa, which we heard in the previous verse, means in our heart. Chitta means our heart. The Guru inside the heart, it's very hard to get instructions from that internal Guru. Yes, he is a Guru. If you have your ears or your mind or heart tuned to that internal Paramatma, you will get all the instructions, no problem. But that's not possible for 99.99999% people. Shiksha Guru hai Krishna Mahanta Swarupe. Therefore, we need a Guru who can give us instructions from outside. And that person better be a Krishna Mahanta, a very, very learned person on the science of Krishna. Okay. So we need an external Guru. And the process to get external Guru is to request now we go back to the previous one. We go back and request for the mercy of Krishna. Okay. And therefore, now that blue box makes sense. Therefore, one must intensely pray to Krishna for his mercy to send a true Guru. That is how you find a Guru. Intensely pray to Krishna. Please send me a Guru. Please send me a Guru. And Krishna, if you sincerely and intensely pray, he will absolutely send a Guru to you. So you must put in effort from your side to find a Guru. And in the next few slides, we will discuss some very important points as well. So could somebody from the Zoom read the translation? Yes, Surya Prabhu, please.
Since one cannot usually experience the presence of the super soul, he appears before us as a liberated devotee. Such a spiritual master is none other than Krishna himself.
Yes. So Guru is, thank you, Prabhu. Guru is as good as Krishna because he is being sent by Krishna. He is a very close associate of Krishna. He knows about Krishna. He is very dear to Krishna. And Krishna sends him out of his mercy. But we must do our part by our intense prayers to request for his mercy. It's not like Krishna is a kind of a mean person. Oh, unless he intensely prays, I will not give the mercy. That's not the understanding, but we have to do our duty of intensely requesting to Krishna, and he will send out of his mercy the Guru to us. Okay. So I will pause here. So this was the whole discussion was about dhira and hearing and getting the instructions from a dhira, from such a person who we went through this whole chain of verses and discussion and said that this person is our spiritual master, is our Guru. And we should obtain the instructions from a Guru. Now, Guru can be of two types broadly, Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. So one can have many Gurus. Diksha Guru should be one, but Shiksha Gurus can be multiple. So it's not like you are restricted, you have to find the one person. Okay, multiple persons could be these who are very knowledgeable and very fixed in their own practice of Krishna consciousness, and we can request instructions from either or both of them. So I will stop here and see if there are any questions. We will probably not go into the 11th verse today, but this is a very important topic on Guru.
Sometimes I have come across some books saying that parents are your first guru. So in what context we should see this statement?
Very nice question. Yes, parents are. Now, Guru has a broad meaning. As we said, Guru means one who dispels darkness. So even your school teacher is a Guru. Okay, they are teaching you ABCD or 2 + 2 = 4. All that is knowledge. It could be so-called knowledge, or it could be actual spiritual knowledge, but they are all in that category. Okay, so obviously parents also teach us. They teach us to walk, they teach us to eat, they teach us to do what, from very basic things. They are definitely our Guru in that sense. All right, but from the discussions that we have had so far today, the Guru really is the person who teaches us the spiritual science. Otherwise, even Hiranyakashyapa was teaching all the wonderful things to Prahlad, isn't it? He was his next heir for the throne. Of course, Hiranyakashipu would not have died for, he had all these boons. But anyway, he was, Prahlad was so dear to him. The only problem was that Prahlad didn't agree that Hiranyakashipu is the Supreme Lord. He continued to maintain that Vishnu is the Supreme Lord. And that's where the whole problem started. So would you call Hiranyakashipu a Guru of Prahlad? Well, he was the father, correct? But not in the real sense. Not at all in the real sense. Because a Guru is supposed to give spiritual instructions, not just material instructions. Even a dog gives instruction to his puppy, how to, whatever, do some basic things. So therefore, the point is a real parent, or not a real parent, parent is the real duty of a parent is to give spiritual instruction to a Guru, to a student. That is the real job of a parent. Yes, you must feed the child, you must take care of the bodily needs, send to school, 2 + 2 = 4, ABCD, all that parent must give. But if the parent is not giving spiritual instruction to the child, then the main duty is being failed. All right. And if the parent is giving spiritual instruction to the child, then that makes him absolutely the Guru. For example, Dhruva Maharaj. You have heard the story of Dhruva?
Yes.
So when he was upset, he went to his mother. And what was the instruction from his mother?
Surrender to Vishnu.
Surrender to Vishnu. He will solve your problem. And then Dhruva took it to heart. And he literally went and searched for Vishnu. Based on that initial, of course, there he met Narad Muni, who gave a deeper instruction. But the first instruction was given by who? By the mother. Okay. So it doesn't mean that the parent has to be Krishna Tattva Darshini. Well, that is great if you are Krishna Tattva Darshini, great, like Bhakti Vinod Thakur. But you can also be like Dhruva's mother. Basic instruction can be given to point in the right direction. Then you will find a more Krishna Tattva Darshini Guru. But if the parent is not giving that as the primary instruction, not as a by the way, okay, enough of, you're doing math also and English also, and this 1 hour you have to do all this puja and all also. Not like that. That is the most important. Everything else is secondary. That must be the focus of parents. Then they can be called a true guru. Okay.
Fine. Thank you.
Prabhuji, I have a question. How to, prevent the mishap in identifying a guru? I mean, I'm asking this question because my husband used to hear one Guruji and he was very impressed with what he was telling. So he took the initiation, and after a year or so, he get to know what he does behind the door. And then he said, no, he's no more my guru. So, I mean, how to, I mean,
Yes.
we don't know the...
Yes, very nice. So what principle got violated here? Maybe he knew the Shastra very nicely. Maybe he was able to convince others also out of his knowledge, but he was himself not following. But you don't know that what is happening exactly like you said, behind the scene, behind the curtain, what is going on in the, what you say, behind the closed door. How do you know that? And how do you find the right guru? So therefore we go back to the same principle. Intensely pray to Krishna. Probably that step did not occur. There was a sentimental attachment to the guru or attachment to the charisma of the guru. Okay. But the prayer aspect was missing. And therefore one got attracted to, let us, go to, anybody else has a question? I have these some next, how many? 1, 2, 3 slides packed with some diamonds and pearls and jewels. Would you like to go through that?
Yes.
Which answers these points, many of these points and more. I could not find verses and all, and it would have become a much longer talk. I was already suspecting this will go beyond the time. So I personally myself listen a lot to His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu. He is, if you don't know, he is coming up as a, recently in the last 5-6 years that I have known about him, tremendously knowledgeable and has the ability to convince, and as far as I know, very strictly following, walking his talk himself. So I really like his classes, his teachings and all that, or his way of teachings are the same. He's not teaching anything different from Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, but the way he conveys and all is just phenomenal. So I have collected through many of his whatever I have heard, etc., some gems of what I have heard from him, which I want to share with you. Okay? Okay with all of you? And one of the things that Mataji you asked will be answered here. Okay, I see a hand raised. Is there a question? Sai Prabhu? Did you put something in the chat maybe? Because it's very hard for me to see the chat, unfortunately. This is like a 4K screen with very, very, very small. Is it sent to everyone? Can somebody read out questions? Okay, let me go through these. If some may get answered, okay? Let me go through this. Today's class may go a little bit longer. Is that okay? If this is a topic of relevance to all of you, which I assume it should be, then I would take your permission humbly to go a little bit longer. So very quickly we will go, and if you have questions, or we can discuss it further later, but I just want to give you quick flavor of some of these pearls and gems and diamonds. And the answers can be much, much more elaborate, but I'm just giving some briefer answers from what I have noted. Do I need a guru? So we already said guru is must have, not optional. For a sincere seeker, not for any Tom, Dick and Harry, but for a sincere sadhak, yes, must have. And Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, which is a very important work in Vaishnava literature, in Vaishnava Shastra. And those who are doing Bhakti Shastri go through this Nectar of Devotion as part of this. 64 limbs of Bhakti are described, and among them the top 3, the first 3 are taking shelter of a Guru. The first one is Guru Pada Ashraya. Guru Pada Ashraya, very self-explanatory, taking the shelter, Ashraya, of the Pada, lotus feet of Guru. Guru Pada Ashraya. The second one is Shri Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam. So after you take shelter, what do? Take Diksha and Shiksha about Krishna from that Guru. Shri Krishna Diksha Adi Shikshanam. Receive Diksha and Shiksha from the Guru. Initiation and instructions from the Guru. Second limb of Bhakti. Third limb, Vishrambhena Guror Seva. Vishrambhena means with confidence, with faith in the Guru, to serve the Guru, to do seva of the Guru. Okay. So another angle on the aspect that for a sincere sadhak, Guru is must have, not nice to have, not optional. Another question that is, I have organized it more like a FAQ, frequently asked question format. Okay. Why a living Guru is necessary? Why not just study Srila Prabhupada's books and just consider Prabhupada as our Guru? Of course, Prabhupada is could be our grandfather Guru. Kindly mute yourself, please. Who is? Why a living Guru? Why not just? So Guru resolves doubts. Of course, he must have the ability to resolve doubts. By reading a book, if you get a doubt, the book will not resolve the doubt. Isn't it? By watching YouTube video, also resolution of doubt will not occur. Resolution of doubt can only occur in a conversation. You will ask doubt, then you'll ask follow-up question. No, but what about this? But what about that? But what about that? You need to have that ability. Then the doubt is fully resolved, and resolutions of doubt, samshaya. So many times samshaya comes in Bhagavad Gita. Samshaya means doubts are there. They need to be dispelled. A live Guru can do that. A book or YouTube video cannot. Following? Arjuna, Parikshit Maharaj, the two most important works that we study, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, both of them are asking so many questions and asking like very strong questions. Arjuna, like, wait a minute. You told me already this thing. Now you're telling me this thing. What is going on? Can you please clarify again? And he's not like letting Krishna get it off easy. He's asking questions. Serious questions are being asked. Then another one is, any learned person should be okay. Isn't it? That is the whole Harvard professor kind of analogy that I gave. That's not okay. Not if they are not walking their talk. Walking their talk is very important. Their heart must be, their own heart must be free of doubts. Then only they can make your heart free of doubt. How can he make your doubt go away if he himself has that doubt? His doubts should have been removed. Then only he can remove your doubts. So ideally, he should be at Uttama Adhikari level. In the previous discussion, we had this explanation of Uttama, Madhyama and Kanishta Adhikari. Don't worry. And they should be ideally at a bhava or a prema, a very high level of spiritual realization. Then another question is, and this is where Niru Mataji, your question might get answered. Guru versus Shastra. There are many gurus out there who will just teach something. They will have a nice charisma. They will have nice, you become very sentimental. They will do all this nice, very beautiful singing, very nice bhavuk with a lot of sentiment. They will sing, they will speak, they might even cry on the stage, or they might do some magic. Oh, this will happen, that will happen. They will give you some chit of paper and you will say, oh, how come he knows this about me, or whatever. So many things could be there. And you will get just attached or attracted by those tricks or those sentiments. So how do you, another important point of how do you find a guru is to, the guru must be able to, should know the Shastra. We have already seen that. He should know it and he should be able to convince others. So Shastra is most important. Okay? You must hear to the guru. Whatever he is speaking, you must hear. That also probably did not happen in that case which you were describing. And you must match to Shastra. At least high level, not deepest level, but at least at high level you should match. That is what Guru is saying, aligned with Shastra or misaligned with Shastra.
Sometimes the gurus don't even have Shastra.
And sometimes Gurus say, oh, whatever I am saying is Shastra. Sometimes they will openly say, I have not read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, I have not read anything. I just sat under a tree and, everything came. Only Lord Buddha can do that. Okay. So Shastra, and so how do you know? So which comes first, Guru or Shastra? We are saying you should get the knowledge from Guru, but we are also saying you must first evaluate the Guru if he's talking the right Shastra. So it seems like a chicken and egg problem. So therefore, that bullet that I have written here, first you must understand Shastra to a reasonable extent. Okay? You must yourself make an attempt to understand, not to so that you can yourself become a Krishna Tattva Darshini, but to a reasonable extent. You should be able to make out, is this guy, if the moment he says, oh, whatever I am saying is not from Shastra, that itself it's a big, huge red flag. That is called, where somewhere I have said here. Yeah. It becomes Baba Vakya Shastra. Whatever Babaji has said is Shastra, with no bona fide backing. All right. So were all these conditions satisfied in that case? I don't know. The Shastra certifies the Guru through the eyes of Shastra, which I am telling you. I am nobody's Guru here, but I am still, you have come to the public class. You are hearing, you have heard the direct from Shastra. I am quoting Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. These are all Shastra. You can open up Veda base, you can have a look. So now you know what are the qualifications, you know some things, isn't it? You don't have to trust my word. I showed you from Shastra. So Shastra is telling you so Shastra certifies Guru. Shastra is saying, this is what a Guru should have. This is what he should be doing. All these things. Now you know. So Shastra is certifying. The Guru cannot say, what I am saying is Shastra. Guru does not certify Shastra. Shastra certifies Guru. Guru only takes you to the next level. Okay. So do not become sentimentally attached to the Guru. Do not surrender to Guru based on sentiment or charisma or anything, some magic or some, all those kind of things. All right. So Shastra is most important, and you must have some basic understanding to know who is the Guru. Another FAQ, frequently asked question, how to find a Guru? We already discussed that. Krishna's mercy has to be there. And here I think Agyata Sukriti is coming. Some Bhagya has to be there. Some previous fortune, destiny, fate. But that comes through some previous Agyata Sukriti. And some contact with a devotee. That is why when you become a devotee, if you are not, you will be asked to go and contact as many people, give them opportunity for Agyata Sukriti. Give them some opportunity. And the nice things you can do to give them Agyata Sukriti is to keep your name as Krishna's name or Bhagwan's name. You can do, so we discussed it, so I don't want to spend more time. So many ways devotees can, give. Here, take some Agyata Sukriti. Take some Agyata Sukriti means some unknown spiritual credit. Unknown, without you knowing. Go distribute some bananas on the street, which are prasad. Who wouldn't want a free banana? So all those things. So intense prayer too, and you must purify yourself through the intense prayer and request Bhagavan. And this is very important. Serious and attentive hearing from a guru for a reasonable period of time before you accept him as a guru. You must hear what he is saying. Now you can never know what is going on behind the curtain. And if you prayed very intensely and you heard and everything checked out, all the boxes were checked seriously. It's not just a checkbox exercise, but seriously, fine. If it still doesn't work out, then we can have a separate discussion. But 99.9999%, it will not be a failure. It will be a huge success. Okay. So qualifications of Guru, we already discussed. Knows Shastra Tattva, can remove doubts, and himself has an advanced relationship with Krishna. Okay, another important point. Purpose of Guru's teachings. What are the purpose? Purpose is not to solve our material problems. What job should I take? Which city should I live in? So many things can be there. We can go to Guru. No. And the Guru will not also spoon feed or handhold. The job of a Guru, and you can see here from this answer that the onus is on you. So this is the most important, the second bullet, to equip us with Shastric knowledge so that the disciple can solve their problem over time. So it means it's not a quick fix answer. Guruji, can you please tell me a verse from Bhagavatam which solves this doubt? No. His instruction will be, go read Bhagavatam. Or give general instruction over time. He teaches you how to cook. He won't give you the food on a plate to cooked food. Okay. So that we should not expect Guru to do otherwise. Handhold, spoon feed, etc. Okay, we say Shastra. Next question. Which Shastra are we talking about? Guru should be aware of Shastra. Okay. And we should read Shastra to some reasonable degree, isn't it? Which Shastra are we talking about? So our Gaudiya Vaishnava Shastra in the respective parampara. We are part of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya or parampara, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So our Shastras are Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam primarily. And these are very, very broad. Many. So there is no problem. So we it's not like some cult. Oh, this is our secret book. Everything else is reject. No, that's not the thing. We don't have any one secret book. We are fundamentally, the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is fundamentally based on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which are the most fundamental Shastra for any Sampradaya. Plus, there are some specifics that fine-tune that understanding, like Chaitanya Charitamrita, Upadeshamrita, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Chaitanya Charitamrita is the entire biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna himself. And Upadeshamrita and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu are the two most important scriptures. Both of these we read in Bhakti Shastri by Rupa Gosvami, who is the foremost disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Last slide, I think. Yes. So we talked about Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj. So people know that he was materially illiterate. So we say you must be a Shastra, knowledgeable in Shastra. So what about Gaur Kishoredas Babaji? He was not knowledgeable in Shastra. He was illiterate. He didn't even know how to read and write. So this argument is not a good argument. So first of all, exception should not become the rule. Okay. So many points to be made here. Materially, he may be illiterate, but he had an extremely deep connection with Krishna himself. Extremely deep connection with Krishna. He was a great devotee of Krishna. He may not be able to quote verses, but he very well knew the essence of the Shastra. He didn't engage in any debates or any quoting verses or anything. He didn't even have any disciples except for one. And one of the greatest disciples, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj. And Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj he was himself so advanced, he didn't need any Shastric guidance at all. So if you want to have Gaur Kishoredas Babaji type Guru, you must be like Bhakti Siddhanta. If you are not like Bhakti Siddhanta, better look for a Guru who is aware of Shastra. Okay? Don't try to say, oh, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj had an illiterate Guru, so it's okay if I also have illiterate Guru. There's a joke I heard, somebody was saying, a father was telling his child, when Jawaharlal Nehru, he was Jawaharlal Nehru, he was the Prime Minister of India, Free India. So when father is telling the child, when Jawaharlal Nehru was your age, he would get 100% marks in all his tests. And what did you get? You failed, huh? So the child replied, when Jawaharlal Nehru became your age, he became Prime Minister of India and you are just a clerk. So before giving example of a great person, you must evaluate your own position. Isn't it? So that example should not be given. Last one is Guru same as Krishna. Yes, so I will summarize this. I will not go into deep into this. Yes, the Guru is as good as Krishna, but he is not Krishna. So answer is yes and no. Very simply put, Guru is, when we say same as Krishna or as good as Krishna, is because he is very dear to Krishna. If we make Guru happy, Krishna is happy. So in that sense, he is same, but he is different. Guru is Jiva Tattva, Krishna is Vishnu Tattva. Guru is called as Sevak Bhagavaan, means the Lord who serves Krishna. Bhagwan is the Savior Bhagavan. Krishna is the Savior who receives the Seva. Anyway, so this is another point. If Guru is Krishna, but Guru never claims he is Krishna. For a disciple, he should consider Guru as good as Krishna. Guru always claims, I am not Krishna. Okay, so we will end here. So I hope your question was answered, Neeru Mataji, to some extent.
Yes, Guruji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, yeah.
I just have one question from your last slide. It was mentioned that you should not sentimentally attach with the Guru.
I must have had the word only somewhere. There could be sentimental attachment. Oh, I didn't. So do not, somewhere maybe, sentiment should not be the only or the primary reason for attachment to a Guru.
Okay. I mean, the thought that was coming to me, that unless you sentimentally attach to somebody, you cannot do a seva.
Yes, so sentiment can come later, but that is not the primary point on which the relationship is based.
Okay, got it.
That is the point. Yes, sentiment definitely develops. It is not like a complete cold-hearted relationship or something, but the relationship is based on something else, which we have discussed a lot, and then sentiment develops. But many people just sentimentally, because some people do a good acting on stage, and you are getting sentimentally attached. Oh, I want him as my Guru. He is my Guru, and that's it. And then you do that, and you didn't care about the other points. And then, you know what happened.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
That should not be the primary or the only reason, but yes, that can be a side outcome. Anything else? Okay, then we will stop here. Sorry for overshooting by about 10-15 minutes. Rajesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, I just want clarification. Like you also mentioned that for the Guru, he should be, if you just bring on that slide, Prabhu, you said that Krishna, Bhava or Prem level, right? Guru must be on Prem. How do we actually know, Prabhu? Like
by listening and by, if possible, as much as possible, association and listening. Association by mainly Vani and little bit of Vapu. So some physical association, but mainly by hearing. And you can understand, and you can, there are symptoms of Bhava, and we will study those. There are 8 symptoms at the Bhava level, and we will study this in Nectar of Devotion.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
There are few non-symptoms and there are few true symptoms. False symptoms and true symptoms, we will study those at a different time.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sai Prabhu, I know you have questions, but I cannot really see them. So
I can read for Prabhu, actually.
okay.
Prabhu.
Any important ones? Yeah, go ahead.
Bhagavatam says in places that the super soul's presence is recognized by our taking help from intelligence. Could you elaborate more that this process versus external guru? Is seeing the guru needed? Since gurus are not near in the US, always for us to have Parikshit, Sukadev like close relationships. Isn't it better to have one guru like Maharaj Parikshit had, since it is very close relationship according to what one is seeking? Multiple gurus for serious
Are these all different questions, or this is one big question?
So one big question, Prabhu. Probably it's two questions actually.
Okay. I already kind of am forgetting what was the initial part of the question. Can you summarize the question, or was it, if you think it was already answered? Because I think from what I gathered, it's already answered to some extent. That we do not, the kind of parts I got, Guru may not be like we are living in America. Guru, maybe somewhere else, maybe in this country or that state or whatever. So yes, you must make an effort to listen from the Guru. I mean, how many years it takes to get engineering degree? 4 years. The engineering college may not be in your city. You pay through your nose. $70,000 these days, $80,000 a year, and you go live in a different city, and you have to do so much things, cook your own food, wash your own clothes, and this and that, and all for what? For 4 years of learning some engineering. So you have to make effort to learn spiritual science, which is way more important than some mechanical or computer engineering. So point is, an effort will be required. But yes, with technology and all, we can all use technology for the spiritual purpose. So we can listen and even remotely. So I think that kind of answers that high level part as much as I got. If there were deeper aspects to the question, you can bring it out.
Yes, bro. The other question, probably Prabhuji is referring to multiple Siksha Gurus. For a serious spiritual knowledge could lead to confusion, as even gurus can each have different visions.
Yes, very good question. So therefore, I think I had somewhere in the slide, or maybe not, they must all have a common line of thought. So for example, in our society, ISKCON, that is much less likely to happen, because they are all simply very, very fastidiously and faithfully repeating Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So, and if you go really deep, then yes, as you go deeper and deeper and deeper, you should narrow down on few or up to even one guru from whom you take instructions, so that there is no confusion.
Yes, bro.
Okay, just like, when you are doing your elementary or whatever high school education, you have so many teachers, and then it keeps going, increasing and increasing. When you're doing PhD, you have one advisor. You don't take advice from 10 people. So as you become advanced, your you listen to one advanced person. Yes, that is true.
Last question. I think it's related to Babaji Maharaj. How can Gaura Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj? How can a person who has a very deep connection with Krishna be illiterate? Example: Dhruva was a child, but by touch of Lord Vishnu recited great many verses.
Yeah. So Dhruva's case, that happened after Lord Vishnu touched him with his conch. Okay, so we don't have any recorded aspects of Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj. All I'm saying, the point I was making is that materially speaking, he did not go to school. He did not learn to read and write. So at that level, he was illiterate. I mean, in India or maybe here also, you can find many such people whom you can call as illiterate from the material sense. Okay, so he did not go to school. He did not have any official high school graduation degree or any such thing. So in that sense, he was. And if, so what's the essence of the question? Material illiteracy does not mean spiritual illiteracy.
I think that's the answer I think he was looking for.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
May I add one thing? It was in the case of Jal Bharat also, that in the last, when he became the Jal Bharat, he shows that he is illiterate.
That is different. He knew the knowledge, but he only pretended to be illiterate. Now, we don't know about Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj. Maybe he was internally, he could recite and give all kind of arguments, whether he was pretending or that or not, we don't know. But yes, in Jad Bharat's case, we absolutely know that he had all the knowledge because later on he gives it to King Rahuguna. So we have proof that he knew it, but he was acting illiterate. All right. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.